Before dawn, a Delta Force operator is already pushing his body to its edge, sprinting 5 miles, rucking 8 more miles with 50 pounds, then doing Olympic lifts, all before most soldiers wake up. By day's end, he's fired up to 3,000 live rounds in rooms where an inch's mistake means failure, then dives straight into breaching, combat diving, and classified surveillance. They call it readiness, but inside America's most secretive unit, this is routine. What's the real price of living this cycle, and how long can anyone endure it? At 5:15 in the morning, the parking lot outside the Delta Squadron Bay is already filling up. There's no formation, no whistle, no sergeant barking orders. Each operator arrives and begins his own warm-up, stretching tight hamstrings or rolling out sore shoulders from the day before. The first test is the run, a 5-mile route that must be finished in under 40 minutes. Some men push for 35. Others lace up heavier boots, knowing the next rotation will demand it. The air is thick with the quiet competition of men who don't accept average from themselves or anyone else. Once the run is done, there's no pause. Rucksacks are loaded, 45 pounds of sandbags or steel plates, strapped tight. The next 8 miles are covered at a pace that would break most athletes, the weight digging into hips and shoulders. The standard comes from selection: finish or fall behind. No one calls time, but everyone knows who's lagging. Inside the gym, Olympic bars hit the floor with a heavy thud. Clean and jerk sets climb to 150 kilograms, the iron plates rattling as men push for personal bests. Some rotate to the pool, knocking out a 2-kilometer swim or underwater laps in full uniform, lungs burning from lack of air. Others attack the climbing wall or tackle a circuit of rope climbs, push-ups, and pull-ups. Every minute is accounted for. There's no supervision, just the unspoken pressure of peers who notice everything. Falling short means more than sore muscles. It means letting down the man next to you. The morning ends with sweat-soaked shirts and a body already drained, but the day has barely started. By mid-morning, the focus narrows to the kill house. Kill house. Operators line up outside the heavy steel door, rifles slung, magazines loaded with live rounds. The air inside is thick with the smell of gun oil and spent brass. Every movement is tracked by cameras set in the corners, capturing each run for later review. Here, the standard isn't just speed, it's perfection under pressure. Former operator George Hand of 4th described cycling through 2,500 to 3,000 live rounds every week, far more than most soldiers fire in an entire enlistment. Each drill demands split-second decisions. Targets appear, some marked as hostages, others as threats. The margin for error is measured in inches. Miss by a fraction, and you fail. Acquisition times are clocked to the hundredth of a second. 0.02 seconds can mean the difference between a clean rescue and a fatal mistake. Operators sprint, dive, and clear rooms in teams, their shots echoing off concrete walls. The best shooters are known by name, and friendly wagers, sometimes just a Coke, drive the competition higher. Every hit, every miss, every hesitation is recorded and dissected in after-action reviews. There's no room for ego. Mistakes are replayed on screen, and the critique is blunt. Operator X remembers the pressure. You're always on the clock, always under the lens. If you're not perfect, someone else is. By noon, hands are raw, eardrums ringing, and the day's real work has only begun. Lunch is brief, sometimes just a protein shake in the squadron bay, because the afternoon belongs to the skill rotation. Operators move from the shooting house to an ever-shifting lineup of specialty modules. One day it's military free fall, high altitude, high opening jumps from 30,000 feet, oxygen mask tight, rehearsing the choreography of night insertions where a single misstep means miles off course. The next, it's combat diving, closed circuit rebreathers, silent and unforgiving, pushing to depths of 30 meters in pitch black water, practicing underwater navigation and gear recovery until muscle memory takes over. Explosive breaching follows, where the standard is not just speed but precision. Breach charges must open a steel door in under 0.3 of a second. The shockwave controlled to avoid injuring the team stacked behind. Advanced driving drills fill the next slot. Operators accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds, then throw the vehicle into a controlled skid, practicing evasive maneuvers on slick asphalt. Motorcycle courses add another layer, teaching how to weave through traffic or cut across rough terrain at speed. Covert surveillance and urban tradecraft come next. Operators blend into city crowds, trailing a target, swapping disguises, passing messages unnoticed. Each operator is expected to master every skill, not just his specialty. The logic is simple. Any man could be the only one left standing. The squadron cycle enforces this, rotating A, B, C, and D squadrons through training, alert, and deployment phases. When on alert, a pager can buzz at any moment, and every operator is expected to be ready for global deployment within 4 hours. The afternoon ends with gear checks and after-action reviews, but the pressure never lets up. Operator X remembers the feeling, "You can't hide in Delta, there's no off day, no slack. If you fall behind, the mission pays for it." April 1980. 8 helicopters lift off from the desert floor in Iran, blades cutting through darkness on a mission to rescue 53 American hostages. The operation, codenamed Eagle Claw, ends in disaster. Mechanical failures, sandstorms, and confusion leave 8 servicemen dead, helicopters burning, and the world watching the United States stumble. For the Army's most selective unit, the lesson is seared into memory. Elite selection means nothing without relentless, realistic preparation. Every flaw in planning, every gap in training, had consequences measured in lives. 13 years later, the streets of Mogadishu turn into a battlefield. Delta operators and Army Rangers fight for 18 straight hours, pinned down by gunfire, running low on ammunition, dragging wounded through narrow alleys. The plan called for a quick snatch and grab. Instead, it became a test of endurance and improvisation, with 2 Black Hawk helicopters shot down and 18 Americans killed. Operators later described the chaos, radio batteries dying, medics improvising tourniquets, teams split and surrounded. In the aftermath, the unit's leadership demanded more than just courage. They demanded training that could withstand the worst day imaginable. Eric Haney, one of Delta's early members, wrote that these failures didn't just change tactics, they changed the culture. The unit rebuilt its daily routine around the reality that mistakes in training would become tragedies in combat. Every hour, every drill, every after-action review became a hedge against disaster. The brutality of the schedule, the volume of live fire, the pressure to master every skill, all of it traces back to these moments when preparation fell short and the price was paid in blood. Knee braces and ice packs become as common as rifles. Medical records across special operations show that nearly 35% of operators suffer knee injuries, torn ligaments, shredded cartilage, joints ground down by years of running and jumping under heavy load. Another 27% live with hearing loss, a direct result of thousands of rounds fired in echoing kill houses and the shock waves from breaching charges. Even with double ear protection, the ringing never fully fades. Dr. Maya Rosen, a military psychologist, has tracked hormonal markers in special operations volunteers. Her team's research found cortisol levels, one of the body's main stress hormones, averaged over 30% above normal after just 1 month of high-tempo training. The effects are subtle at first. Trouble sleeping, short tempers, a creeping sense of numbness. Over time, reaction times slow by as much as 12%, and memory lapses become routine. The cost at home is harder to measure, but just as real. Divorce rates in special operations have climbed well above the Army's average, more than double in some studies. One former operator, his name withheld for privacy, described it simply. "You come home, but you're not really there. Your mind is still on the next alert, the next target. My wife said it was like living with a ghost." Holidays blur into training days. Missed birthdays, missed anniversaries, conversations that never get past the surface. For many, the marriage ends quietly. Paperwork filed after a final argument no one can even remember. In Delta, these losses are rarely discussed. Chronic pain, broken families, and the slow erosion of self are treated as part of the job. The unit's culture rewards endurance, not vulnerability. Operators learn to keep moving, even as the toll accumulates. One injury, one sleepless night, one empty house at a time. This level of relentless readiness comes at a steep human cost, one still paid in silence. As global threats evolve, the demand for operators who never truly stand down only grows. The line between sacrifice and sustainability blurs. Some burdens remain classified long after the mission ends.